Right. What we discussed yesterday. Yesterday we discussed about only one point. That point is called as architecture. ODI architecture. In ODI architecture, we know we have the four tiers. Tier 1 is nothing but desktop tier. Tier 2 is nothing but WebLogic or application tier. Next, tier 3 is nothing but repositories. Tier 4 is nothing but sources and targets. In the tier 1, the main component is desktop, which is known as studio. What is a desktop? Here, studio. The studio contains a designer navigator. Second is operator navigator, topology navigator, then security navigator. These are the four types of navigators whatever available. Next, if you go to the WebLogic, there we have the interface manager and console. These are the two things which are available. In the repositories tier, only one master repository and several work repositories are available. And fourth tier is available, that is known as sources and targets. We have no limitation. Any source or any target we can go and we can communicate. Now we started learning the repositories tier. In that one, master repository is responsible to store the information related to the versioning information and whatever activities you do in the topology entire work, and whatever work you do in the security tab entire work is storing in the master repository. Next, in the work repositories are divided into two types. One is called as development work repository. Second is called as execution work repository. In development work repository, we are going to store in the designer whatever we are going to do it, and operator whatever we are going to do it. In the execution work repository, the name itself is saying as execution. We are going to store only operator related information only we are going to store it. Why? Because through operator only we are going to run the things. Now today we are going to understand how to create that master repository and how to create that work repository and what are the tables are available backend, how we can create exactly this one that we need to understand. Right, that one we'll try to do it today. Let me open for that your documentation. I hope you got this material right. Please collect from the front office. You collected? Yeah, please open the material also then. So in that one we have the hands-on one that is called as creating master and work repository. Hands-on one, creating master and work repository. Right? Okay. Now today onwards class will be very interesting. The reason behind is it is totally navigation. It's totally navigation. Till yesterday we learned about some theory points. Whenever we are learning some theory points, bit of sleepy, okay, boring. But navigation will be what we are doing is interestingly we are going to do it, right? Okay. Now let us say first go for here creating the master and work repositories. In that one, first one we are trying to learn creating the master repository. In that one we are going for open SQL plus type /shdba, press enter. And we are trying to create a user by executing below commands. Just I am trying to execute, create a user that is known as ODI master repository, and identified by the password is rrattack123, and I am also granting the DBA. Strictly speaking, DBA permissions are not required. Only select permission and resource permission. These two things are enough. However, we given here DBA permissions, we gave it. And we are trying to connect to this user. Let us say like this we connected. And we are validating, do we have any tables or what? Obviously, just now we created this one, right? In the schema, we don't have any tables. Okay, what you did is we created now one empty schema you created. What you created? One empty schema we are trying to create here. In this empty schema, we are going to put our tables of the master repository. We are going to put our tables of the master repository. First, let us learn here how to create this empty schema. To learn that one, let me give control to someone. Let us say Abhilash. I don't have option to do it. Okay, let me do it then. If I go for here, start, then I need to go for what? SQL plus. In SQL plus, we need to provide the username. We want to create one user ID, right? So you need to have the admin privileges. Normally in the training rooms, we can go and we can provide slash as sysdba. If I enter, we are going to get it. If you enter, we are going to get it. For example, some people used to open like this. Let's say run, they are going and they are running like SQL plus like this will run. Okay, then from here we are trying to type here slash as sysdba, then it's throwing this kind of error. What is the difference? Here we have my mission, client and server is available. So don't go directly start and cmd like that. So go for what? Directly start SQL plus component, whatever available, please open that one. At that moment, the slash as sysdba is going to work. In our case also, if it's throwing any error, instead of using the slash as sysdba, you can use even proper admin user ID, whatever available. In our company, slash as sysdba won't work. Because slash sysdba means what? Without username, without password, directly it is logging in. Only in training room it is going to work. In live, in our projects, it won't work. In our projects, you have to log in with proper ID. Let's say connect sys. Okay, what is the password here? Let us say in my case rritec123 @ share, like this you have to connect. What it's saying? What it's saying? It's saying as sys is what? Connection as sys should be as sysdba or sysopera. That is the problem. So we are writing here connection sys as sysdba. Okay. Then what is the password? RR capital I text small 123. We're able to log in or not? So whenever you want to use sys, then we have to give as sysdba also we have to give it. As sysdba also you have to give it. Okay, time being in our training room, you can go and we can connect as what? Connect slash as sysdba. In my lab or in my remote server, it is going to work. If it anywhere it's throwing some error, you can use what? Sys as sysdba, and password is what? RR capital ITEC small 123. That's what the password. Getting my point? Now I want to create a user. How to create the user? The statement is create user. The username I am giving as your batch number. Let us say your batch number is B223, and we are trying to create here master repository. We are creating, in fact, master repository as well as work repository. Both I would like to create under the same schema. Both I would like to create under the same schema. That is the reason the naming convention I would like to give here master repository followed by what? Work repository. Master repository followed by work repository. Both I want to create in the same schema. I want to create it. So I given here mr wr, then identified by RR capital I text small 123, then semicolon enter. Conflicts with another user or role name whatever available. That means already this user seems to be available. Okay, let us go and try to change bit of the things here. I am trying to change as create B223 MRWR. It is available, right? Let me make it as your batch number as B224. This batch number is going to be permanent and it will be there with you always. Our batch number is what? B224. Okay, now create user B224 MRWR identified by RRATech123. User created. I want to provide here grant DBA TO2, then what? B224, then master repository followed by work repository, enter. Then I want to connect to this user, connect, then B224, then MRWR. What is the password? RR capital I text small 123. RR capital at a small 123, then at the rate of ORCL. So I am trying to connect to this one. I connected. What you did is till this point of time, you created a user ID. Nothing but you created a schema. If a creation of the user, creation of the schema is one and same. If the username and schema name both are same here, username and schema name both are same here. Now I want to go and I want to see in this one any tables are available or not. Select count star from tab. Do we have any tables here? Obviously will not be available. Why? Because just now we created the schema. Just now we created the schema, so we don't have any tables here. We don't have any tables here. Now next point is let us say I'm trying to get some tables inside this one. I'm trying to get some tables inside this one. For that, what we need to do is we have to go for the step 2. Step 2 is called as creating the master repository. For that, what I am saying, start our ODI studio. Start our ODI studio. Where is your ODI studio? In case of 11G, that is registering in the start. Then we have here all programs. Then we have here Oracle. Then we have here Oracle Data Integrator. Then we have here what? ODI Studio. What is the navigation? Start, all programs, Oracle, Oracle Data Integrator, then ODI Studio. That is the 11G navigation. That is 11G navigation. In 12C, same ODI Studio, if I want to open, the navigation is you have to go to the computer, then C drive, wherever you install the software. My case, I installed Oracle, middleware, Oracle Home, then ODI. There we are seeing here Studio, ODI and ODI. We have to go for according to your operating system number of bits. If it is a 32-bit, we have to go for this one. If it is 64-bit, then we have to go for this one. In my case, first I am concentrating on 11G. So what is the navigation now? Start, then all programs, then Oracle, then Oracle Data Integrator, then ODI Studio. Whenever I clicked on the ODI Studio, we are going to get shortly one desktop tool, otherwise Windows based tool. It is a web based tool or Windows based tool? It is a Windows based tool. Why? Because it is not opening using URL. It is not opening using URL, so it is a Windows based tool. It is a Windows based tool. Okay, the tool is opened here, and the tool is called as Oracle Data Integrator 11G. It is known as one name. What is the name of this one? Studio. What is the name of this one? Studio. And what is your plan? You want to create here one new repository. You want to create it. So you have to go for this option new. Then that is going to guide you how to do it. If I click on this new option, then we are going to get one window. This is called as new gallery. You can create here one new ODI repository login, one username and password. You can create it. If you want to create here one master repository, you can create it. If you want to import one master repository, you can import it. We have to go for master repository creation wizard. We have to go create a new master repository. Create a new master repository. I selected here create a new master repository. Then I want to click on OK. If I click on OK, then you can see shortly it is a master repository creation wizard. How many steps it is? 3 steps are there. In that one, first step is called as repository connection. Second is called as authentication. Third is called as password storage. First one is repository connection. Where you want to store your repository? Where you want to store your repository? We want to store the repository in the IBM DB2 database or MySQL database or Sybase database. You have to decide now. In my mission, what database available? Oracle database. My plan also to store my master repository in where? Oracle only. So what I need to select here? Oracle I need to select here. Once I selected the Oracle, according to the technology what you selected, automatically that corresponding drivers we are going to get here. That corresponding drivers. For example, if I am selecting here MySQL, then automatically the drivers are changing or not? If I select here, let us say IBM DB2, automatically it's changing. So based on the database what you are selecting here, automatically drivers are changing. Can I say now a technology is nothing but the type of the software? Oracle software is called as one technology. Teradata software is called as one technology. MySQL software that is called as one technology. The type of software is called as one technology. The type of software is called as one technology. Now next is JDBC driver. We should not disturb this one. That is automatically going to populate based on the technology what you selected here. Next JDBC URL. That URL also syntax is given. But still if you want to understand more, if you go for this browse option, then it is giving here comment lines or descriptions are available. Thin driver connection, SQL starnet is not required. URL parameters are, one is what? Host. Host is a one parameter. What we need to provide over there? Server network name or IP address. Actually now my system is in network. My system is in network. My system name is available. What is my system name here? If you go to the properties, then if you go and observe here, there what is the name of my computer? RRITEC. RRITEC. This is called as network name or computer name. Now let us go for my IP. What is the IP of this one? If you want to understand also, you can go and you can type here my IP. You are going to get the my IP is what? Let us say Google. Simply you can type here my IP. That means my computer name corresponding my IP. We are going to get it. What is the my IP? 49.204.64.10 is the my IP. From this IP, I want to contact, let us say, one more PC. Can I contact or not? For example, all programs, I can go to the accessories, I can go for the remote desktop connection. This is some other IP or not? Some other IP I am going to connect. This mission and that mission both are in the network. That is the reason I am able to connect to the other mission. Correct? So overall, what I want to say is you have to provide the IP address of the Oracle database where it is installed. IP address of what? The Oracle database server, that to not the client. Oracle database server where it is installed, that IP address or the network name you have to provide. The Oracle database where it is installed, that IP address or that network name you need to provide, not the your local machine name. In company always Oracle server may be available in one CPU, ODA maybe you want to create in the another CPU, OBW is available in another CPU. All the softwares like our training room, everything will not available in the single CPU. Oracle is one system, ODA is in one system, OBA is in one system. Some cases each software maybe two systems also may be occupying because of the clustering and all. Okay, time being we understand what you mean by server network name or IP address. Next is what? Listener or port number. By default port number of the Oracle is 1521 is the by default port number. By default port number of the Oracle is what? 1521. That means you are not disturbing the port numbers. You simply clicked on the next at the time of installation. So then by default port number is 1521. If we change the port number at the time of installation, then we have to go and we have to change here also. You have to go and you have to change here also. Now next is available here instance service name. Oracle SID, that is nothing but our database name. The database name is what? ORCL in my case. So this all information I want to provide here. The host is equal to, I can provide here it is available in my local machine only, it is available. So I am giving here localhost. Then we have to provide here the port number. What is the port number of this one? 1521. And SID is available here. That SID is called as ORCL. Now tell me, what is the user ID you want to communicate using? With user ID you want to communicate ORCL. Yeah, whatever user ID just now you created in the step 1. You created just now B222, sorry 224, right? 224, then MRWR. And what is the password? RR capital ITEC small 123. And DBA user, this is one more point. DBA user, is it really DBA user is required? Answer is yes, it is a really DBA user is required. Then why DBA guy is going to share that guy username and password to me? Yes or no? If he's not liking, surely he's not going to share it. As a one-time activity, we are going to ask that guy to connect remotely and provide this one. Okay, now here I want surely what I want, DBA user ID I required. Sys DBA. For example, I am providing a Scott, then I am providing a Tiger. Is it Scott is a DBA user? No. Scott is a DBA user? No. If I give it like this, then click on the next. Then if you provide here some password, click on the next, click on the finish. Is it going to create or is going to throwing error? What error it is throwing? Check if user Scott has what permissions it want? DBA. Scott has no DBA permissions, that's what is throwing error. Now we realized the problem. Now let us go and try to provide here, connect, create it. What do you have to provide here? What you have to provide? Here localhost, then we have to provide here the port number is 1521. Then we need to provide here SID as or CL. Then username, what is the username? B224MR, then WR. Then what is the password? RRITEC123. And DBA user is sys as sys DBA. Then password is RR capital, I text small 123. Now by default it is giving here one ID, it is giving each and every object including master repository and work repository also going to identified by one ID. That ID is known as internal ID. What is that? Internal ID. Each and every object, that means down the line I may create some other ODA objects called as interface, package, procedure, variable. These are all objects. All objects are identified uniquely using one ID. That ID is internal ID. Internal ID. Now 0 is the by default what it went. Now if you click on here test connection, it is going to show you successfully connected. Click on OK, click on next. Then select the authentication mode that the master repository will use. Use ODA authentication to manage users using ODA internal security system. Use external authentication if you wish to use an external enterprise identity store such as Oracle Internet Directory or manage user authentication. If you want to go for external authentication, then you need to go for this one. If you want to go for ODA authentication, you need to go for this one. Time being, I am going for ODA authentication. What is your username I given? Supervisor. Actually, you didn't given. By default is what? Supervisor. Even you cannot modify this name also. Password, yes, you have the freedom. You can keep whatever you want it. In my case, I given supervisor only. Password also I given. In my case, I given supervisor only. Password also I given. Now if you go and if I try to click on next, with this I completed authentication. Password storage, where you want to store it. If you want to store internally, you can store it. Externally means somewhere where you want to store it, that path you need to provide it. What is server type and IBM WebSphere, something like that. As of now, let us go with the internal password storage. Internal password storage. Before clicking on finish, I want to show you, do I have any tables here? Any tables? No. Now I am trying to click on finish. What it is doing? ODA is creating your master repository. If you go back and if you observe here, what happened? 64 tables are available. That means what? A master repository is nothing but combination of how many tables? 64 tables. Master repository is combination of 64 tables. It is fixed for this corresponding version. ODA 11G, 11.1.1.7, if you go and take it, it is fixed. However, Version to version it will changes. For example, if you go and observe this documentation once, this documentation is available in ODI toolc, but all steps are same. You opened here ODI Studio, you opened, then we went for what? New option, then what we selected? Master repository creation wizard. Then we are familiar with this window or not? We are familiar. Then we selected here authentication. We are familiar or not? Then we went for here internal storage. Once process is completed, we are going to get this window. We are waiting for this window. How many tables are available here? Why 67? Why 67? Because we did this one in the version. That version is called as what version it is? It is ODI toolc. It is what? ODI toolc. As it is ODI toolc, it is a 67 tables are available. So your master repository is nothing but combination of 67 tables in ODI toolc, 64 tables in ODI 11G. If you want to see the table names, you can go and you can see that one. You can go to the SQL place. Let us say I want to see those table names. Select star from TAB. Then we can see here these all tables are available. What information is there here? User information we are storing. And what other extra information we are storing? Profiles information, passwords information we are storing. And we are storing here about the indexes, and it's storing here about the connections, agents information. These all things are part of topology and security. These all tables are related to what? Topology and security related tables only available here. Apart from that one, topology and security, one more thing is what is available? Versioning also available. As the people are aware of it, our master repository is responsible to store what are the informations? Security information, topology information, versioning information. That's what these all 64 tables are doing here. Now, if you go and observe here ODI Studio, still it's creating your master repository. So in part of this one, it's created the 64 tables, and also it's going to create the required data in that one. The required sample data in that one. Okay, let it complete. Then finally we are going to end up with one window. This is what the window, information window. What is information window? Master repository creation was successful. You can now connect to the master repository and create a work repository in the topology navigator under the repository according. So it's asking to create the work repository. It's asking to create the work repository. Let it complete. You can observe here temporarily what task it is doing. Right, it's completed. After completion, what is the message it is? It's saying as master repository creation was successful. You can now connect to the master repository and create a work repository in the topology navigator under the repository according. Yes, any questions in this master repository online, folks? Abhilash, Mahesh, Sai Kumar. You are clear. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now I am trying to click on OK. Once you click on OK, it's done. What is the next step? You need to create your work repository. How to create it? That's what our step 2 that is called as creating the work repository. You can create work repository in separate schema also. I created here separate schema actually. But there is no need to create separate schema. You can create in the same schema. Why? To increase the number of schemas counts and all. I am trying to store master repository and work repository in the same schema. Even Oracle recommendation also placing master repository and one work repository in the same schema. Okay, now that is the reason I am not creating the work repository corresponding schema directly. I am going for what? Creating work repository. Now open the studio, the start ODA studio. Already we have the ODA studio. Then second is what? Click on ODA menu bar, then click on connect, click on new. This is what the ODA menu bar. This is what the connect. If I click on connect, it is asking what? What is your login name? I am providing here my login name. Do you have your login name here? Did you create your login name first? B222 batch is available. Okay, other batches are available, but everything is not there. You did create your login. How you can create it? Here we have an option. The option is known as plus symbol. If I click on this plus symbol, there is nothing but new connection we are trying to create it. If I click on plus symbol, we are getting one window that is known as repository connection information. Repository connection information. Now in this repository connection information, it is asking what? What is the login name? What is the login name? The login name I am trying to provide here as B224. Your batch number is nothing but your login name I am saying. Then username. What username you created, sir? At the time of master repository creation, you created one username. What is the username? Supervisor, right? Oracle ODA username. ODA username. At the time of master repository creation, we got the step 2 creation of the login. The login is supervisor. So go and try to provide your username as supervisor and password as supervisor. These details are what details it is asking here? Database connections. Which database connection? The two master repository connection. What is your master repository here? B224 MRWR. What is the password? RRITEC123. And what is the driver list? The driver list, you can go and you can select what driver? Oracle JDBC driver. And driver name automatically came. URL. What is the URL? Search here and we are getting here one path. That path, click on OK. I hope you know how to fill this path, right? In place of the host, we have to provide what? Localhost. In place of the port number, what is the port number? 1521. In place of the SID, what is the SID? ORCL. ORCL. There we are seeing here work repository. And under work repository, we are seeing what? Master repository only, work repository 2 options. Strictly speaking, this heading they have to change it here. Master or work repository they have to keep. They kept here what? Work repository they kept it. Tell me, do we have work repositories at this point of time? If I go and browse it, we are getting here empty or not? That means we don't have any work repositories which are mapped with this master repository. Work repositories are members of what? Master repository. Work repository is a member of what? Master repository. As of now, for this master repository, there is no work repositories. That's what we are seeing here. Empty list we are seeing it. I want to connect to the master repository only. I selected master repository. Then if you want to make this as a default connection, you can select it. Then click on yes. Which connection it is making default? Do you want to set B224 connection as the default login? Click on yes. Click on OK. Then what we are seeing here? B224. What is the benefit of this one? If I go to the ODA, then connect, automatically what is coming? B224. By default, your connection will come as a B224. Normally, we'll make as a development connection ID as a default connection. Accidentally logged into the production, deleted something means a problem. That is the reason development we are going to make as a default connection. Now, I am trying to click on OK here. If I click on OK, you are logging in as a master repository or work repository. You are logging into master repository or work repository. Do you have the work repository? No, as of now, no. We are logging into the master repository only. I am clicking on the OK. Then you can notice here in the topology tab, yes, we have something. Security tab, we have something. What about operator tab? It's saying as not connected to a work repository. That means it is not available. Why it is not available? Because it is a master repository. Master repository is responsible only for two tabs. In designer tab also not available. Designer tab, operator tab not available for master repository. Only topology and security tabs are available. For your understanding purpose, I want to tell you one thing. If you go for here, what is the year? One table SNP underscore user. Select star from SNP underscore user. Some things is going on here. I think in SQL Plus, seeing this data is not that much of comfortable, right? Is it comfortable? No. That's the reason down the line I don't want to use SQL Plus. We'll use one thing that is called as, by default we got, what is this? SQL Developer. This SQL Developer is a, from 10C onwards, by default we are getting with the Oracle installation. With the Oracle installation we are getting this one. Okay, most of the companies are using either Toad, either what? TOAD, Toad. Toad is nothing but it's useful to execute our SQL queries. Second one is what is available? SQL Developer is available. That SQL Developer we are going to use it. Either Toad or SQL Developer. First priority goes to Toad only. More market is occupied by Toad. Once Toad is not available, then we'll go for what? SQL Developer. In my case, I am going with the SQL Developer. Once you open SQL Developer, you need to create here one new connection. How to create the new connection? It is very simple. If I click on this new connection, then it is asking new or select database connection. Connection name is equal to B224, then MRWR. Then username. What is username? Username also I am providing same, and password is what? RRITEC123. Next time onwards, I don't want to provide the password, so I am trying to save that password. And what is my database name? ORCL. I want to test it or not. You can test here, and what you are seeing here? Success. And if you want to save it, you can save it. If you want to connect it, you can connect it. Now we connected. Shortly, we are going to see left side that will be connected. Once it is connected, let us say this is what it is connected here. If I expand this one, what are the tables are available inside the schema? I can see it. What are the tables are available inside the schema? I can see it. For example, if you go and see the tables, there we are seeing one of the table. The table is called as, what is the table name? SNP underscore user. In SNP underscore user, if I go and see the data tab, do I have the data or not? How many records are there? One record. Who is that user? Supervisor. When it is created? When it is created? 08 May 15. That means today only it is created or not? Today only it is created. Today only it is created. And this is actually ODE is developed by Synopsys company. Synopsys company. That is the reason here and there we are going to see the names as Synopsys. This was known as Synopsys tool. That guy renamed Synopsys tool only ODA, Oracle Data Integrator. And everything is available. For example, now I am going here and I am trying to create one user. What I am trying to create? One user. I am going to the security tab. I am going to the user. Then as of now, I don't have here any other users apart from supervisor. I am going for here new user. Then new user. Then it is asking me one name. I am providing a name as, let us say, my name I provided. Then it is asking the password. Password directly you cannot type here. You can click on what? enter a password. I am providing the password as RRITEC123 and RRITEC123. Then we have to provide here expiry date. If you want to provide, you can provide. If you are not providing, that's also okay. Never it expires. Click on what? Okay. And if you want to make this user equivalent to what? Supervisor. That means what? Supervisor is a admin user. Supervisor is a by default admin user. This one also want to make equivalent to what? Supervisor. You can go on, you can select it. If you want to maintain it is a normal user only, later point of time you want to provide the required all permissions, then you need not select this one. Click on the save option. Once you clicked on the save, we are seeing what? Ramreddy user ID we are seeing, right? If I go for here backend, click on here refresh, what you are seeing here? 2 users are available. What is the other user? Ramreddy user. That means whatever work you are doing, that is coming backend and trying to store here or not? It is coming backend and trying to store here. If I go for the SNP profiles, we have what is the profile? Connect. What is the profile here? Connect. What is the profile here? Designer. For example, if I go and if I try to create a new profile with the name of, let us say, ABCD, save it, ABCD is saved or not? If you go and try to observe here, let us say refresh here, then we are seeing ABCD or not? What I want to confirm here, whatever work you do in security tab, that is coming and storing backend where? Backend where? In our master repository. Your master repository is a combination of 64 tables. Whatever you do the work in the topology tab or security tab, that information is coming and storing in these 64 tables. Yes. Okay, that is clear now. My main goal is to implement one thing that is called as what? Creating work repository. Work repository where you are going to create. You can now connect to the master repository already connected and create a work repository in which navigator? Topology navigator under the repository accordion. So on topology navigator we have to go and we have to create the work repository. We have to create it. We have to create work repository. We have to create it. Am I clear? Right, let us say I am going here, then I want to go to the which tab? Topology navigator. This is called as what? Navigators. These all things are called as designer navigator, operator, security and topology. So we are in the topology navigator. Then under the physical architecture we have here one thing that is called as repositories. If we expand the repositories, master repository one thing, work repositories, do I have anything? Do I have anything? No. Can I create one new master repository? Do you have any new option here? Can I create new work repository? From this what you need to understand is, for one installation, one master repository. But n number of work repositories may be possible. That's what we written what, sir? One master repository is available and several work repositories are possible, we written. Master repository is always one. Work repositories may be several, many. Now I want to create here one work repository. I want to create it. How you can create is simply right click on this one. There we are seeing here new work repository option. If I click on new work repository option, specify ODI work repository connection properties. And again work repository also a set of tables or not? Where you want to store the set of tables? I want to store, let us say, in same schema. If you want to keep different schema, you can go and you can put it. If you want to keep different schema, you can go and you can put it. But in my case, I am trying to put what? Same schema I am trying to put it here. Same schema I am trying to put it here. For example, we selected here same schema. Then go and try to test here once. Test is successful. Okay. With this we completed first step. In the bottom, this next option is not appearing means we can go and we can hide the toolbar. Go to the properties here. There we have the auto hide the taskbar. Then this taskbar is going to be auto hided. Then we are seeing here next option or not. We are seeing here next option. Or you can adjust this window like this. We can adjust this window. It's not moving. Okay. Anyhow, now in the laptop it will be perfectly available, sir, because the resolution will be very good. But here in the desktop it is not coming that much properly. Anyhow, we are able to understand it, right? Yes. Click on here one thing that is called as nest. What is the ID? Why one it went? You gave 0 for master repository. System gave 0 for master repository. Next serial number is 1. 1 is given here. And what name you want to provide? I want to provide your batch number B224. And we are doing for the box called as development box. And this work repository are creating that is called as development work repository. Development work repository. Password, it is optional. If you want to provide it for security reasons, you can provide it, else you can ignore it. And how many types of work repositories are available? 2 types. One is development, second is execution. Time being, I am selecting here development. I am selecting it. I am selecting development. Development is for development database, development environment plus testing environment. Execution is only for what? Production environment. Development, we have to select for what? Development box, development environment, as well as for testing environment. For production environment, we have to select what? Execution. Now I am trying to click on here finish. Before clicking on the finish, how many tables are available here, sir? How many tables are available? How many tables are available? Are you sure? Yes. Note down this point. 64 tables are available. Now I am trying to click on here finish button. After I clicked on the finish button, then observe here carefully what is happening. What happening? Tables are increasing or not? Why tables are increasing? Work repository tables are coming and storing here. What is the final number? 183. Now tell me, work repository related how many tables are there? Tell me the number. 183 minus 64. No. What is the number? Huh? 183 minus 64. How much? This much time. 119. That is correct. So now you people understand master repository is a combination of how many tables? 64. Work repository is combination of how many tables? 119. Work repository is combination of how many tables? 119. If you go and observe here, let us say right click on this one, refresh here. Then you are going to see so many tables we are seeing here. So many tables we are seeing here. We are seeing here extra things are available here. Lot of things are available here, right? Tables information. As of now, no tables are available. Okay, and also some other information is also available. Okay, so master repository tables and work repository tables both we stored under one thing that is called as one schema B224 MR WR schema. We stored it. So with this we completed creating the work repository. We went for new work repository. Then we are familiar with this window or not? Then we familiar with this window or not? We provide here password also you provided. In my case I didn't provide the password. Then the confirmation window is asking the login you want or not. Already you created the ODA login or not? What is your ODA login? B224 we created. That is the reason, even though would you like to create a login for the work repository, I am saying as what? No. Why? Because I already have the login. B224 is my login. B224 is my login. So I am saying to say click on no. Click on no. Now you created here successfully one work repository. If I want to create one more thing, can I create it? Yes. That's what we are saying as one master repository, several work repositories. Time being we create one thing, that is okay. Now I want to connect to this work repository. How I can connect? Because I want to work with the designer and operator also. To work with that one, I have to connect with the work repository. As of now, you connected with what repository? Master repository. Here, what is enabled here? Master is enabled or work is enabled? Work repository is what is saying? Not connected is saying. These icons are going to tell which repository connected and with what user you connected here. User symbol also available or not? User symbol also available. With what user you connected? Supervisor. Even if you want the more information, go to the ODI menu. There I have the repository connection information. If you go for repository connection information, these are the details you provided and you connected here. These are the details you provided and you connected here. Now I am trying to log out and I am trying to log in. Disconnect. Then I am trying to connect here. Then at the time of connection, I want to change here some properties. How I can change it? Edit here. There we are seeing what is that? Work repository. Then we are seeing what is that? Edit. Then what is the work repository available? B224 dev DWR. Previously we don't have any work repositories, right? Now we are seeing one work repository. If I select this work repository, if I click on OK, that's it. We selected the work repository. Click on what? OK. Click on OK. Now tell me, building the designer, operator, security. Now tell me, designer is available or not? Operator is available or not? But as of now, nothing is executions are available, nothing projects are available. We have to create here one by one. Right. You connected with now. What you connected? You connected with the work repository. You connected. That's what I am trying to say here. So here, tell me, work repository alone is how many tables in case of the 12C? Work repository alone 153. 12C. 12C I am talking about. Okay, let me give the clarity here. In 11G, these counts are corresponding to what? 11G counts. And we have here next counts are corresponding to what? 12C counts. In 12C, master repository how many tables? 67. Work repository how many tables? 153. Total how many tables here? Total how many tables? 220. Total how many tables here? Total is how many? 183 tables. So in case of 11G, master repository and work repository, combination of 64 plus 119, that becomes 183. Here 67 plus 153. Anyhow, practically we are going to create this master repository, work repository in 12C. Don't worry. Down the line we are going to create it. Even today, whatever I gave the class, with that class we will be able to create master and work repository in 12C. Surely. Can you? Yeah, you can create, right? In 11G, whatever steps are available, same dot to dot. Same thing is applicable for 12C also. Okay. Now, with this we completed here. Creating master repository, work repository manually. Am I clear? And tomorrow we'll try to understand how to create master and work repository by taking help of what? RCU. RCU stands for Repository Creation Utility. Repository Creation Utility. Tomorrow we'll try to understand that one. Today I am stopping it. So go to the lab and try to practice it. I'll come to you people 9 o'clock. I have now 8 to 9 one batch. OBW batch is there. After OBW batch, I'll meet you people in the lab. Please stay in the lab and try to practice it. Don't leave from here. Are you clear? Yes, please stay in the lab and try to practice here. Don't leave from here. I will come to you 9 o'clock after 1 hour. Thank you. Online folks, you have to practice your own. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will arrange someone to help you remotely using the remote server and all. Thank you. Tomorrow also same class timings. Thank you.